All right, welcome to the Road to Memphis, Part 3. Bob Murnahan here once again. And something that has been jumping out at me lately is bending. And I know this is a topic that has been talked about a lot, but it happens to be on my mind today. So I'm going to share a couple of thoughts about bending. And one of the things I've been noticing, I'm going to reference Chris Kane again. Larry Carlton does this. I've noticed Joe Bonamassa doing these types of things. And this is bending different to different pitches than we normally would bend to. So, typically if we're playing in C, we do the whole step, right? E flat up to F, B flat up to C, the whole step bend, very common. Now, what I've noticed Joe Bonamassa and Chris Kane, players like that doing, they'll bend 2 steps, sometimes a step and a half, so you have to develop accuracy. So let's say that I'm going to do this up here a little higher on the fretboard. This would be what you would consider to be box 3 of the pentatonic blues scale. So on the second string, I'm in the key of C again. The notes would be C at the 13th fret, E flat at the 15th fret, 16th fret, sorry. So 13th fret, 16th fret. Now what I want to do is I want to hit the G, which is all the way up here. So we're going up to the 20th fret, essentially. So this note here, the E flat, is going to end up sounding like this note way up here. So, once again, now I'm bending 2 whole steps. E flat, bypassing the F, all the way up to G. So that big wide bend is really cool. You don't hear that often, I don't think. So I think I'm going to definitely start playing that a lot more and incorporate that into what I'm doing. Also sounds like the lick that Jimmy Page plays in Whole Lotta Love, right? Something like that. He's in a different key, but very reminiscent of that as well. So the best way to practice those kinds of bends is to actually go up to your target note, listen to it, and then come back down and try to match it. Now that's a big wide bend, so when you're bending, make sure you're using at least 2 fingers to hold that note. And I'm bringing my thumb over the top of the fretboard here, as you can see, to give me some support. So I'm pushing down and up at the same time. If you don't have your thumb back here, up here rather, and you try to keep it back here or somewhere else on the fretboard, you're not going to be able to generate the power to get this bend in tune. Now, what if we wanted to combine that with a whole step bend? So we're going to hear something that's like this. Right, so I'm trying to get from the E flat up to G, and then E flat up to F. So I'm getting multiple notes from the same starting point here. And that's where practicing that targeting, like we were talking about a second ago, so I can really hit that note when I want to. Look, a little sharp that time. And your ear helps too, so by practicing those over and over, you can really get locked in with your ear and your finger, and you sort of get a sense of how far I need to push the string in order to make that work. Another one that I heard, this is one that I heard Joe Bonamassa doing. This is, if you want to, he's doing Beth Hart, A Change Is Gonna Come. And that they're doing that in B flat. I'm really high up here on the fretboard. Thinking of B flat major. Let's see, or is he in the A flat? I think it's in A flat, so I'll do it in the key that they're in. A flat major pentatonic. So if you can think, this would be box 2. So I'm bending, so I'm going A flat, B flat, up to C. So that's 16th fret, 18th fret, 20th fret. So what you hear Joe Bonamassa doing on that video is he'll bend up from the B flat to the C, and then up to the C sharp or D flat. Without letting the string come back down, so you get 2 notes from one bending motion or action, if you will. And you do that the same way, like we talked about. You get your target note and do the bending to get it in your ear, and also to figure out how far you got to push the string. But those are some really cool little bending things that really aren't part of my style as much, that I'm really working on now. You don't have to do the 2 bend in one thing like we were just talking about, but even just if you just get those 2 whole step bends, and get it placed in the right spot in a blues tune, really cool. So again, check out Chris Kane and listen for him to do those big bends, and check out that Change is Gonna Come, Beth Hart, Joe Bonamassa, and you'll hear a couple of those things that I'm talking about. All right, cool. Hope you're enjoying these, and I'll be back with some more for you real soon on the road to Memphis. Take care. Oh, practice.